KYOSHO here, back on the video. Today's video is a review and comparison of the Mini Z MR03 EVO 5600 kV with the MR03 EVO 20th anniversary chassis set. Sorry guys, this one comes with 8500 kV. I've done a video on the anniversary set previously. If you go to the top right, you should be able to see that. And I've also done a review on the standard SP chassis with the 8500 kV motor. All these cars come standard with a wide setup, 98mm. So guys, I'm just going to point out the main differences between the two cars. As you can see before I start, these cars look like they've been well used. So this was after a day of running on my track in the garage. These tyres were all brand new when I put them on, and after I think a good 6-7 hours of continuous racing, you can see they're a bit worse for wear. We've lost the tread on this tyre completely, and you can see on this particular one, tread on both the front tyres is virtually ripped to shreds. Surprisingly, we're still handling pretty well at the end, but yeah. Now a lot of you guys out there are pretty experienced with these Evos and racing them, and probably give me lots of tips to do with the tyres and how to mount them and what wheels to use. Well, that'd be greatly appreciated. I think this is running on Audi R8 wheels because they were quite wide offset, and this one's on the Mercedes GT3 wheels, the AMG, which are quite wide as well. So you probably noticed a bit of hot glue on the shock here. This was the first casualty of the day. The mount here broke, so we used a bit of hot glue. Apart from that, we had no issues with the car, and I think this was after a particularly horrific smash. Main points to, you can see that the anniversary edition has got a much better shock absorber. This is better than the SP edition, which comes with a plastic shock. And this particular mount at the back of the disc, again, it's filthy guys. It just shows you how much you have to clean these cars after you've had a day on the track. This really makes it smooth. I really appreciated the rear shock and how the rear end handles on this car. You've got the 8500 kV motor and the 5600 kV motor here. Didn't make that much difference on my track. It's not big enough. If anything, having the slightly punchier blue motor off the mark was a little bit better out the corners, but not noticeably so. The Evo here, the anniversary edition's got the alloy motor mount, alloy front brace, and it's got this operated carbon fibre rear mount system. Underneath though, the mount itself is still plastic, the T-plate, same as the 5600. I haven't even taken the sticker off that, guys. I had a day of racing. I don't know how that stayed on there, unless it wasn't from there. Anyway, carrying on. This has got a rear plastic pod, and everything else is pretty plastic and basic. I think the diff is the same. This has just got red markings on it. Otherwise, I think the setup is pretty much identical. Both wide, both 98mm, both running the KYOSHO batteries. And in terms of pace, as I always say, on a track the size of mine, one driver error will cost you the race because the other guy will lap you 2 or 3 times. The anniversary edition was far smoother, far smoother. And I think that's with the oil-filled shock as opposed to just the generic spring shock here. The metal alloy setup at the back and at the front just gives it that bit of fluidity, which is smoother. Now, in my hands, if I was driving one car against the other in a ghost race, this would win, but not by a lot. And only one mistake would mean the end of the race for that person. So with us, 3 of us racing, 2 of us using these blue motors and 1 of us using the anniversary edition, it was a pretty equal split, guys. It was a pretty equal split. So in terms of, is it worth the extra money? It depends on the size of your track you're running on. If you're, a serious racer and you're going on a decent sized track, double what I've got, then absolutely this would be the one I'd go for. But I think in UK money, this costs, I think, a good £100 more almost in price. So yeah, this car here is good value for money as an entry level. You're going to get all the benefits of an Evo. So it's brushless. You can use your, I'm using the EX6R with this one, and with this one we use the NB4, as you can see, with the yellow antenna. Honestly guys, no difference, but smoothness, yes, this was floatier, lighter, and just seemed to glide more easily. But in terms of raceability, no, there was no difference. This could benefit with an oil shock, definitely. And the 8500 kV SP edition, so not the special anniversary edition, that does have an oil shock, but it has a similar amount to this, as you can see in my previous video. This is what I think really separates this out, and I think if there's one bit of kit worth getting, this is a good piece of kit. In terms of everything else, guys, Mini Zs, the batteries last so long. This is one thing you fail to appreciate when you're using something like the, let me find, if I can find it. So I've got a GLR GT here, which I haven't reviewed yet. Beautiful piece of kit. Yes, it knocks the socks off these in terms of, you know, its adjustability and tunability, but the battery doesn't last as long. I guess what the point I'm trying to make there is that the GLR GT is lovely, but if you want to get a good bit of racing in, these Mini Zs with their AAA batteries, they're impressive. They run brushless off these AAAs, which are, you know, nickel metal hydride, and they run, you know, a good 45 minutes at least. It's just, you know, you can't compare that to a battery which might last you about 20 minutes. You just get a lot of runtime and a lot of practice. So there's a lot to be said for these Mini Z EVOs, and certainly you guys know I love them. And I've gained a new appreciation for the rear-wheel drive EVOs since I've been experimenting and racing these on my track. Now, one of the casualties we did have over here, I don't know if you can see, they just spotted this. I had to put some heat shrink around the wire because it got caught in the gears. So definitely I would advise using a zip tie and finding somewhere to locate this to or tie it up so your wires don't get tangled up. That was rather gruesome and it could have been worse. But so that's a tip straight out the race day that we did the other day. I'll put up which tyres I use. These are all KYOSHO tyres, treaded tyres, radial. I'll put it up because I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've all got the same tyres on. So for me, it was a great race day. Sorry guys, I haven't got any footage of the race day. I managed to delete it, but I will have some footage soon of these cars racing together, hopefully against the GLR GT, and I'll do a ghost video like I normally do, just so you can see the differences. Last thing to appreciate is these beautiful shells that I've had done by Colin. These are from I.C.S Designs. This is a 12C GT3 McLaren, and he's done a beautiful job. I've actually got 3 of them. Okay, I'm missing the wing mirror off that one. I better glue that back on. I usually take the wing mirrors off when I'm racing. I don't glue them on that strongly, but these are some beautiful shells that Colin's done for me. I don't think I'll race with those though. I always race with different shells, so I think this one was running the Audi R8. This one was running the Mercedes, I think it was this one. Let me check. Yep, Mercedes AMG. And after my initial misgivings about the Mercedes, it's actually quite a good shell on the right car. Okay guys, so that was just a little summary of where we're at with the EVOs. I'll have more videos coming soon. In the meantime, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.